Hello, Prof.
I greet you, my sister.
Good evening, sir.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, I just finished listening to the testimonial that you sent me about Adeboye.
Okay.
It's touching and it's deep. I've been trying to warn people and educate people about the occultism that is running in the name of the Church of God. Adeboye is not of God. Adeboye is running a cult. I have told them several times, not just Adeboye, even Oyedepo. They are both running shrines. They are running cults. So I want you to clarify something here from the testimonial that you sent me. You said this information that you have put in the testimonial, you heard it from who exactly? About Adeboye.
I don't want to.
No, don't mention names. Don't mention names. I'm just saying mention the relation that your uncle. You said it's your uncle that told you this, right?
No, it's not. It's not an uncle, but he's an elder, an old man.
Oh, he's an old man.
Somebody that lives. Yes, an old man. He has children. I think his wife is dead.
The wife is still at Adeboye's church.
No, the wife is dead. His wife is dead.
Oh, he's dead. Okay.
Yes. So he is from another state in the western part of Nigeria, close to Lagos. Yes. I don't want to call the location, and I even have his phone number. I have his phone number. Okay. So he's someone quite close, and he's someone I used to give money to. So it's not like yes. And when I met him, at the period I met him, it was just like a father-daughter kind of relationship. Okay, it was like, how are you? How is everything? And then, he saw the way. I used to be very churchious. I go to church every day, do this, do that. So he saw the way I was so committed, and he called me to advise him. I was committed to Adeboye's church, even to several other churches, because there are times I want to be, if I'm invited to another ministry and all that, I will go there to minister. Okay. I used to be a singer, yes.
So what did he say about Adeboye specifically? I want to focus on Adeboye. What did he say about Adeboye? My sister, listen. My sister, do not fear anything. Adeboye is just occultic, but his powers will never work against you. Your testimony is going to do more good than harm. It's going to free many souls.
Yeah. Are you aware that his first son is dead?
The first son of Adeboye?
Yes, he's dead.
How did he die?
There is a mystery behind the death of that first son. They said he just didn't wake up from his sleep.
He did not wake up from his sleep?
Yes. That's the story. The first son of Adeboye. That's the story. Yes, that's the story. So he told me that they will gather more children, because actually he wanted expansion of the ministry. So they will gather children and then do a certain ritual. Okay, already they prepare the ritual on ground. Then he will divide money. Maybe say 20,000 naira or 50,000 naira. He will break it into 20 naira. That's just about one of the smallest,
denominations.
Amounts.
Yes, also, he will split the 20,000 naira into very small denominations so that he can distribute those small denominations.
Yes, distribute to the children. And the aim is to use the virtues of those children.
Okay. He wants to rob the children of their glory, of their destiny.
Yes.
And he will give them these 20 nairas each and every one of them. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Because he was specific. He said that it is at the number of children that they're able to gather, because Adeboye will not do this himself. They are the ones that will take the ritual, that will go around with it. And sometimes they use that salt and they distribute it maybe just on the land, in the community.
And they'll be targeting children, like they are helping young children.
Yes, it looks like they are helping young children. It looks like they are, organizing a get together for them and all that. But it's just a transfer of virtues. That's all.
It's a ritual.
So yes, in some churches where they don't sleep with the ladies, to fortify themselves, they use small children.
Exactly.
They steal the virtues of these children.
Exactly. There are different rituals in these churches.
Yes, sir.
Most of them, they sleep with women. And we have these ones that are occultic, like Adeboye, that are running cults. They don't do sexual rituals. But what they do, they do, human sacrifices. That's how they sustain their ministries. And we have your likes of Chris Okafor, we have your likes of Jeremiah Omoto. These ones and Bushiris, they rely on sexual activities, on sexual rituals. Because their shrines are not yet cults. They are in the process of becoming cults. I hope people can understand this distinction, that the likes of Adeboye, Oyedepo, Makandiwa, Chris Oyakilome, and all these other major ones that are peddling on false doctrines, they don't carry sexual rituals. Most of them, they do human sacrifices. And the human sacrifices come in the form of young ones. There are always mysterious deaths in these cults. And these are signals that Africans can't see. These are signals that the Church of God cannot see. That's why you see most of these churches, they actually prescribe sick patients not to take medication. So that if they don't take medication, they rely on anointing oils. Eventually they'll die. So whenever they die, it brings more glory to their occultic, shrines. It supplements and it gives more, support to their rituals. And they'll stay in the game forever, deceiving people.
Exactly.
No, but the thing is, you have already sent me the testimonial. This part, I just wanted to clarify it with you. So I'll just add this call. I'll just add this this other piece of information we've shared now, together with the testimonial that you have already sent.
No problem.
And I hope people will be enlightened, and I hope people will wake up. There's another information that you gave me of an incident that happened at Jeremiah Omoto's church. Can you please explain further again what transpired about the child that went missing?
Okay, a crippled came to the radio program.
A what?
And a crippled woman.
Oh, a crippled woman, yes.
Yes, with about 3 boys. And she said that she went to Omoto's program. I wanted to meet him one-on-one. And she paid money and paid all the necessary what is it called? What they asked her to pay.
Oh, the one-on-one fees.
Yes,
the consultation fees.
Yes. And mysteriously, her last child, about 2 years then, got missing.
Did she go with the children? Did she go with the children for the consultation?
Yes, sir. She went with all her children, the boys. They're all boys. So when she got there, mysteriously the child went missing. So after making efforts on their own to look for the child, they had to report to the church authorities. And she made reports severally and all that, and they refused to respond. And because of the way she was troubling them, the prophet, got the information.
I don't call him prophet, my sister. Stop referring to him as a prophet.
Yes,
just call him Omoto or Jeremiah or that charlatan.
Charlatan. So Jeremiah now got wind of the information and started threatening her that she wants to pull down his ministry, that she's from the pit of hell, this and that. Eventually, he ordered that they throw her out, according to her testimony. So after that, she had to seek for help somewhere else. That was when she went to Dr. Isa Mohammed of Brekete family in Abuja to lay the complaint. So they tried to reach the prophet, his PA, and the rest of them. They made several calls for 2 weeks. This case went on for 2 weeks, trying to reach Jeremiah. So somehow, it's like I don't know who got the information across to him. He now sent his lawyer. He sent his lawyer that something like that never happened. You know, but Dr. Isa Mohammed was trying to say this is not the first time they've been bringing such reports. Why can't he come on his own to clear his name? It looks like it's something real that's actually happened. Why is he not coming out?
So
and
children,
the man had to take the,
so children have been going missing again in Jeremiah Omoto's shrine.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you.
Okay,
I'm telling
with
you.
reference to this one,
of people, yeah.
With reference to this story that you have told me, you told me that these crippled women went for one-on-one consultation with Jeremiah Omoto.
Yes, sir.
And when she was consulting with Jeremiah Omoto, she left her children maybe outside of the office.
Yes, exactly. They had a place where they kept them. Exactly.
And
they had a place where they kept them.
And when she was done with the consultation, one of her boys was missing. One of her kids was missing.
Yes, sir.
And no one ever made an effort to look for that child. The child just went missing.
Like that.
The child was sacrificed.
Just like that.
This is obvious. And do you know what Jeremiah would do? He would cover it up. He would threaten that woman not to pursue legal charges. But that child was sacrificed. And they always target infants. They always target, toddlers, young ones who are still innocent, who are still pure.
Yes, sir.
So that they can offer them as a sacrifice and increase their occultic establishments.
Exactly.
So Jeremiah is in between. He's into sexual rituals and he's also into these human occultic sacrifices. And the people of Wari will never believe this. They'll fight and defend Jeremiah Omoto. But it's clear the child went missing. Where is the child now?
Those defending him are ignorant, really ignorant, because this is not the first time. I can give you some numbers of that radio station, and if I can come across Dr. Isa's personal line, I will send it to you so that you confirm if these cases have ever come to that radio station or not.
Do you have access to the lady, the mother of the child that went missing?
No, I don't.
Okay, but if you give me the radio station number, find for me, and then I'll make an effort to locate her, so that people know that this is happening. Our people are being sacrificed. Our people are being used as rituals. That is murder. That is murder. They are killers, these people. Greetings, people. It's Mr. Pull the Trigger yet again on another episode of the Enlightenment series. This one I'm gonna make it a quick one, a brief one, because I want you to listen to a testimonial. You have listened to the other part of it, but I want you to listen to the full testimonial at the end of this video. Here I'm going to talk about the occultic man that is running one of the biggest shrines in the nation of Nigeria, called Adeboye. Most of you are actually tempted, or you are actually in a process of doubting that Adeboye can't be a charlatan. Adeboye is not only a charlatan, but he's administering a cult. There's a very fine line between those that are administering cults and those ones that are just in the process of administering cults. Your legends, your generals, I don't care who respects Adeboye. I don't care who respects Oyedepo. That doesn't mean anything. Christ is the master. Our master is Christ, not Adeboye, not Adeboye. They might have been there for the longest time ever, running, administering their shrines, their cult centers. That does not make them men of God, because they have multitudes of people that are following them. Adeboye is administering a cult, and the way he sustains his cult by human sacrifices. That's why there are many young ones that are always going missing in these cults. That's why there are, deaths, mysterious deaths that keep happening in these cults that the likes of Adeboye and Oyedepo administer. Listen, something that I want you to understand. We have this sect of your biggest generals that have been doing these cults. Your men of white, those ones that wear white clothes, those are cults. All of those are cults. They have nothing to do with God. And we have in Zimbabwe, we have the likes of Makandiwa. Those ones are running cults. Those ones are the masters of cults. In Nigeria, we have the likes of Chris Oyakilome. We have the likes of Oyedepo. We have the likes of Adeboye. Those are administering cults, and they are peddling their cult shrines, their occultic shrines, with doctrines, with false doctrines. They are separate from the Jeremiah Omotos. They are separate from the Chris Okafos. They are separate from the Joshua Iginlas, because these are just fake 419s that are also in the process of administering cults. But these ones, they base most not on human sacrifices, but on sexual rituals. There has to be something that you give to maintain these occultic powers, to maintain your relevance in these occultic lineages. It's either you are making human sacrifices, it's either or you are manipulating and having sexual rituals. So you must know that demarcation. And whenever you see mysterious deaths in these occultic shrines, just know it's a sacrifice. And Enoch Adeboye, they actually run their shrines based on these human sacrifices. These are things that have been happening and you have not been noticing. We all know people die. But the way these people die in these shrines, it's always mysterious. It's always questionable. And you must also listen in this interview. There's a part of Jeremiah Omoto. There's a young boy that went missing. I'm still going to dig deeper so that you understand, so that you know, and know that the people that we are dealing with here, they're out for blood. They're out for blood. They'll do anything to maintain, this relevance that they have, and to maintain the occultic spells, and to maintain the occultic rituals and covenants that they signed up for. They signed up for life, and they'll do anything to protect themselves. So listen to the full testimonial, and I'm going to dig deep into Jeremiah's issue where he sacrificed the little one, and that young man went missing from a church. How does that happen? Adeboye is a charlatan. Adeboye is running a cult. Understand it, take it or leave it. Whether you call him the fathers of faith, he's not a father of any faith. That occultic shrine that is running has nothing to do with God. One day you shall see, one day you shall remember me on judgment. That young man was speaking a lot of sense. I have a lot of revelation concerning these occultic ministries and these shrines. Adeboye is running a cult. He doesn't deserve any respect from you people. All those gullibles that are submitting under him, they're all destined for hellfire if they don't repent, if they don't listen to this message and detach themselves from these long occultic lineages of occultism. Listen to the full testimonials, to the full testimonial, and I'll catch you again on the next episode of the Light Time series as we hit hard on top of the nail. They will cry this time around. Listen to the testimonial.
In 2020, 2 years ago, I met a man, an elderly man, whose father was one of the pioneer traditionalists during the Festac 97 here in Nigeria. He told me that Pastor Adeboye usually come to them for help, spiritual help, of course. And when he started his ministry, yes, he started very well. He started initially very well, but there was a need he had that made him come to him. He wasn't specific as to the reasons why he came to him, but he told me that most pastors are not who we see them to be. This is a man between the ages of 80, maybe late 80s and 90s, because he's really weak, an old man. So he mentioned that he normally prepare a ritual for him. He told me the items: salt, honey, and then maybe some amount of money. Let's say if he's going to bring 20,000 naira, that means he will break it down into 20 naira and share to children, little children, gather children together, share to them, and then give them the concoction to lick, that they will prepare it in form of honey and pass it around the children. These are innocent children. Pass around the children for them to lick. After licking, they will give them, the children, 20 naira each. depending on the amount of money. And he said he doesn't visit during the day, that is during the dead of the night. So, and he made mention that these days that he normally come, in a black vehicle, a black jeep, and he make the rituals for him. So a lot of things which I can't even remember that he said, because I wouldn't want to say what I did not hear. And I was so shocked. My faith in churches and in men of God, even before I started following you, Prof X, my faith in churches now became, zero. If there is anything less than zero, because aside from what I heard from this elder, this old man, who happened to be a herbalist, or in the local language, they call them Babalawo. I've had other experiences with prophets. There's this certain prophet, Prophet Omale. I wouldn't want to mention location now, but here in Nigeria, I walked very close with him, very close, very close. And I could remember a time came, I started observing some things in the ministry, like, the way women sleep around with the pastors and all that. And there was this particular one at that point that, troubled me. I had to leave. And eventually when I left, even when I tried to discuss the issue of my leaving to one of the sisters very close to me, she was scared for me. She was like, no, that she had to tell me some people and even mention names of people that had left the ministry and they ran mad. So I was so confident, of the fact that since I have not offended this man, I think I'm at liberty to leave when I want to. Besides, I came here on my own volition, so I have the right to leave when I want to. And eventually I left. But believe you me, it was not funny. I remember the night that it was like there was fire on my head. I mean, burning on my head. I had to run to a woman, a believer. She goes to one of the churches around anyway, to pray for me before I was able to regain myself. I used to have nightmares of dogs chasing me. Sometimes I will see, the prophet and his wife in a hall, and they'll be looking at me. Sometimes I'm attacked, or I'm pursued by these people. I used to have dreams of seeing skeletons in the compound. I used to have dreams of seeing snails walking out, from the building. In fact, Prof X, one thing I will say to you is that I don't care the number of persons that come out to dissuade you. But if you are really, really convinced that you can pull this through to the end, please continue. Because there are a lot of things that are hidden behind the scenes in some of these churches, especially those churches that started well. We are not saying that, okay, these churches are bad, or these men of God or these women of God so-called are evil. Many of them, majority of them started well. But the need for fame has made them to soil their hands. You see, in this same ministry I left, the prophetic ministry, people die anyhow. People die. There was one of the pastors that lost his baby and nothing was done. Nothing was done about it. The wife has been going through miscarriages and all that. And eventually, God helped the man and they were able to, give birth to a child. But the baby died and nothing was done. If anything was done, it wasn't brought to our knowledge. You know, I, 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 it beats my imagination what people tend to gain at the end of the day. I want to talk about Jeremiah. Is it Jeremiah Omoto? There is this program every day by 7:30 in Abuja called Brekete Family. There have been several complaints brought to the owner of the program. His name is Ahmed Issa. They call him the ordinary president. Women, parents coming to complain, to the ordinary president to help them tell Prophet Jeremiah Omoto to give them their children. The one that happened either a year or 2 years ago, a crippled woman that had 3 or 4 boys, went to Jeremiah Omoto, paid money, for her to, meet the man of God one-on-one. And eventually, mysteriously, her last child, I think he was about the age of 2 or 3, just got missing. They started looking for him around. They went to the authorities, laid a complaint. They feigned ignorant about it. They didn't even make effort to search for the child. Eventually, the woman troubled them so much that the report got to Prophet Jeremiah Omoto. What Prophet Jeremiah Omoto could do, according to the woman, was that the prophet started threatening her, and eventually she was thrown out, of the camp. And she had no choice but to come to Ahmed Issa to ask for help. It was a live program. The matter, dragged on for a long time. They had to contact him to come and say something. But he was busy using the law to fight, ordinary president. He couldn't even come out to say, okay, it is true or it's not true. And she's not the only one. Many have been coming to complain that way. And mysteriously, all of a sudden, the case will just end. You see, I pray for you that God will strengthen you. I pray that the innocence of children, young people, that these so-called men and women of God are using their virtues. They're using their virtues to enrich themselves. We fight them. They will be tortured in this world before they resume another round of torture in the great beyond. This is all I have to say. Thank you for all you do.